All right, so we're on 321, the area of trapezoids. Okay, so there's several different ways you can do some of these different problems. I'm going to primarily show it by doing some form of the formula, which is you're taking the two bases, okay, and you're averaging them. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, so what that basically is going to mean, no pun intended, is you're going to average these two numbers, right? Um, that's kind of the idea. All right, and so I'm going to do some of that on several of these. Okay, so on this one, all right, well, and then you're going to multiply it times the height. Okay, so we need to average the two bases. So that's 5 plus 10 divided by 2. Okay, so 15 halves, which is 7.5. Okay, so that's the average of the two bases. Okay, so we got to do the average of the two bases, all right, times the height. So now we need to do 7.5 times 4. Let's see, this is the average of these two. It averages to 7.5. Now we got to do it times the height, which is 4. Okay, so 7.5 times 4. Okay, so that's 2831. One decimal in the problem, so 1 in the answer. So therefore, the answer is going to be 31 square centimeters. Okay, so again, you average the two bases and then multiply by the height. All right, number 2, 9 and 16, and then the height is 6. Okay, so again, we're going to average the two bases, base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. That's averaging them. And then we're going to do it times the height. Okay, that's the only difference between that and a parallelogram and a rectangle, is that there's this part taken out. Okay, now here, there's actually another way that this one could be done. We can make this a triangle right here. Okay, then that would be, this is a rectangle that's 9 times 6, which is 54. If this is 9 and that's 16, then that means this has to be 7. 9 plus 7 would be 16. This height is 6. So this triangle would be, so you got base times height divided by 2. That's the area of this triangle, right? All right, so 7 times 6 is 42. Divided by 2 is 21. So we got 21 plus 54. That's going to be 75 square inches. You could do it the other way. Okay, if you average 9 and 16, you would get, what was that, 12 and a half? Nope. Yeah, 12 and a half. So then 12 and a half times 6 would give you 75. All right, this one is going to make the most sense, I think, to average the two bases. Okay, so we got 20 plus 50, right? These two bases. And then we're going to divide that by 2. Then we're going to do times the height, which is 40. Okay, 20 plus 50 is 70. 70 divided by 2 is 35. Okay, so then 35 times 40, which is the height, gives us our answer. 35 times 40, 20, 12, 14. Okay, so that's going to be 1,400, right? 1,400 square meters. Okay. Next one. Oops. Number 4, find the area of the trapezoid. All right, so again, this type right here, I kind of like to look at it like this. Okay, so then that makes this a rectangle that's 1.6 times 1.4. So that's 24, 4, 6, and 0, and 1, 6. So 4, that's 12. And then 1, 2 decimal places in the problem, so 2 in the answer. So this is 2.24 square centimeters for that rectangle. Now, if this is 3.2 and that's 1.4, that means this would be, you subtract it, right? 3.2 minus 1.4, which gives you 1.8. So this is 1.8 on this side right here, right? This part right here, 1.8. Okay, so then now to find the area, to see this is 1.6 right here. So 1.6 times 1.8. But it's a triangle, so it's half the rectangle, so we divide by 2. Okay, so 1.6 times 1.8 is, so that 48, 8 and 4 is 12. Then this is 16. So that's 288. And then 2 decimal places in the problem, so 2 in the answer. So that means this is 2.88, but that is not the answer because we still have to divide it by 2 because it is, in fact, a triangle. So 2.88 divided by 2 is 1.44. Okay, so now to find the final area of this trapezoid, we're going to need to add up 2.24 plus 1.44, which is going to give us 3.68 centimeters squared. Okay, so it's a lot of steps. It's just a bunch of little, calculating different shapes. Okay, all right. Here we have a triangle. We got a rectangle and another triangle. I think the easiest way to do this one to me is going to be to average these two. Okay, so we're going to do 15 plus 7 divided by 2. So it's going to be 22 divided by 2, which is just 11. Okay, so that's the average of the bases. So then the average of the bases times the height can give us the area of the whole thing, which is 77 square feet. That's all right. Okay, number 6. All right, so here the parallel bases are these two. Okay, so let's average the two bases. So 1.5 plus 2.5, finding the mean of those two. So 1.5 plus 2.5 is 4. I'll show you how. All right, so that's 4 divided by 2, which is 2. All right, now we got to multiply that times the height, which is this guy. So the average of the bases times the height. So that would be 2.8 times 2. All right, and that would be 5.6. And then that is square centimeters. Okay. All right, number 7. Find the area of the trapezoid. All right, so, you probably should draw it. All right, so here's the height, 25. This one's 30. That one's 70, not to scale. So you add them up and divide by 2. You're averaging the two bases. All right, so that's 100 divided by 2, which is 50. So now we do 50 times the height, which is 25. So 25 times 50. Oops. That's 25. That's 10. That's 12. Okay, so then that's going to be 1,250. All right, number 8. An artist designed a base for one of his sculptures with the dimensions shown. Top and the bottom are rectangles, the side are isosceles, trapezoids. Just trapezoids. Find the area of the front face, the side face, and the top. Okay, so the top, easy enough, right? So that would be, all right, 15 times 8, length times width, right, which is 120. Okay, so that would be 120 centimeters squared. Like how many little squares will fit in there? Okay, now the area of the side with the 12 centimeter base. Okay, notice that the two bases are going to be 12 and 8 on this one. So 12 plus 8, it's a plus, divided by 2. So that's 20 divided by 2, which is 10. All right, then times the height, which is 6, and that's 60 square centimeters. All right, and then last one, area of the front. Okay, so we got the 20 and the 15. So 20 plus 15 divided by 2, because we're averaging those two bases, this one and this one. Okay, so that's going to be 35 divided by 2. You divide 2 into 35, you're going to get 17 and a half. Okay, which is fine. We're just not going to leave it there. We're going to prefer decimal here. Bring the decimal up, and that's going to be 5. Right, so 17.5. Right, and I'm going to erase that because that's going to be confusing. Okay, and then, so we have 17.5, and then times the height, which is 6. So 17.5. So that's 42.45. 6 times 1 is 6 and 4 is 10. 1 decimal place in the problem, so 1 in the answer. So that is 105. Okay. All right, so 105 square centimeters. All right, so that is that. Make sure you got all that work shown and get your work turned in.